Hello and welcome everybody, what is going on? So it has been long overdue for one of these. I said that I was going to do one after like episode 110 I believe it was. I didn't do one. But we're here today to do one. You know, it's like I said, it's been a long time. We have done one of these before, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave it in the description down below. But we're here today to do a character, my top favorite characters of Gintama. And I made this one a top 5 instead of a top 10. The previous one was a top 10. But I thought, you know, I want to go more in depth with these characters, and doing a top 5 will allow me to do that. Whereas with a top 10, if I did that, the video would be too long. Now, I will do another one of these. I think I was told at episode 150 or 201. I was just told about an hour ago on Discord. So, you know, I will do another one at that stage, whichever one is better. But let's talk about my top 5. Now, there's a lot of characters that I left out of this one, and I think it's a lot to do with like a recency bias. I'm fully aware of that. Like the last few arcs that have aired have actually made me appreciate some characters more than others. Also, additionally, we're going to do the arc that is happening next, episode 115 to episode 119. We're going to do that later today, so give or take like 7 p.m, 8 p.m. UK time, which is give or take 9 hours from now. Because I'm trying to sleep, and then when I wake up, that's when I'm basically gonna do it. So like 7 or 8 p.m. But yeah, technically I've got 6 names on this list, but it is a top 5. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I figure let's just get started, and let me just start off by saying my number 5, my 5th favorite character right now, 114 episodes in, is Mado. I feel like he's almost like a little bit underrated. I feel like a lot of people either love him or a lot of people hate him. Not necessarily hate him, but like either love him a lot or just, you know, kind of like him. But no, he's never really one of those like universally loved characters. It's either love or just like, and I actually like him a lot. He's a fun character. He is, I don't know, he's just like one of these characters that you just enjoy, you know, like they're, you know, struggling right now in life, you know, that they are, you know, having a tough time, but like he always somehow turns it around. And like the one episode, for example, I think it was a two-part arc, I think episode like 90, I want to say 95 to 96, but it's probably 96 to 97. Again, my memory is not that great, but I think it's like 96 to 97. The one arc where Gintoki represents him basically in court, in quote-unquote court, was one of the most hilarious episodes in a very, very long time. There's not many episodes that really surpass. I think like the toilet cleaning one is the toilet, you guys know which one I want to talk. The toilet episode was probably the funniest of all of Gintama, but that one was definitely very high. It was pretty much up there. And Mado, he's just such a fun character to watch, and you know that every time you see him on the screen, something bad is gonna happen to him, but like something unexpected. Like it's you know when you watch like one of these old comedies, pretty much it's like, you know, knowing that somebody's gonna slip on a banana peel, and just as they're about to slip, something else happens to them. That's basically what happens to Mado. You know, okay, something's gonna happen to him. He's gonna, you know, he's gonna be messed with in a way. He's gonna be quote unquote messed with, and it's just always very, very fun to see the creative, unique ways that he's been messed with, that he's been toyed with, that, you know, he's ultimately suffering in the best way to put it. So he is a very, very fun character to watch, in my opinion, and I just like him in general. Like he's obviously had it very, very rough. He still has it very, very rough in the show, but he still, you know, he's a shining example of like having it very, very rough, but, you know, doing the best with what you have in a way. You know, that's really what he's about, and he's such a unique character in the sense that, you know, he doesn't try to be funny. He doesn't really have a gag. He's just kind of real, you know. That's basically what it is. He's just kind of real. Like he's just a real person who's struggling and who's been toyed with. That's basically why he's number 5 for me. It was number 5. Like it was very, very difficult for me to actually think of, because there were a lot of characters, and obviously I'll get to that once I've actually done my top 5, once I've actually named all the people. But it was very difficult for me to like pick one person at number 5. I was going to pick like 3 or 4 people, but I ultimately decided on Mado, just because I feel like he is almost like the most relatable in a way. I feel like he's the one character that, you know, like I said, hasn't really gotten a gag. He is just there, and he's just like, you know, like every time you see him, you know it's gonna be a good episode. So that's why he's at number 5 for me. Number 4. Ooh, that's gonna be a fun one. Number 4 is Katsura, or should I say Zura? Katsura, again, probably because of the recency bias, but I feel like Katsura is always gonna be in my top 5, in my recent top 5. I mean, what can you say about Katsura? He's got such a fun dynamic with so many people. That one episode that, you know, where he had an interview with what's her name, the Anna girl, like the news reporter girl. You know, that was a very, very good episode. Then recently he's had the episode with Yamazaki. Like, he is supposed to be like this quote unquote terrorist, right? The serious terrorists that like everyone, like the Shinsengumi and whatnot, have assembled to try, you know, try and just like stop and whatnot, and he's just a complete idiot, right? Let's just say it the way he is. He's a complete idiot. Which is just very, very fun to watch, especially like his relationship with, first of all, Gintama, then his relationship with Elizabeth. There's a lot of nice, neat relationships he has, and obviously we just had a 4-episode Katsura special, so of course, you know, he, again, recency bias, but I feel like because he has been so prevalent in like all of these arcs recently, all these episodes recently, you know, like you have the breakout episode, and then you had the one where he's like driving in the car. 2 episodes that were primarily, you know, Katsura episodes. A little bit Gintoki here. I mean, not the prison break one, but like the, you know, the driving one. Primarily Katsura, but it was just fun. It was one of these arcs that you just, like, one of the episodes that you just watch and you just enjoy. You can rewatch it, and you'll still enjoy it 7, 8 times. It doesn't matter how often you watch it, you'll still really, really love it. I mean, like I said, he's number 4 for me, and he probably would have been a little bit higher if it wasn't for my number 3. My number 3 is Hijikata. Oh, I think in my last top 10, and I guess I'm kind of giving it away right now, but in my last top 10, Sogo was higher than Hijikata. This time, Hijikata is the highest Shinsengumi member. Yeah. I the more I see of him, the more I just like him. The more I see of him, the more I just appreciate him. You know, just like you see him and he has so many quirks. Like, you know, the Shinsengumi Crisis arc. Let's take that one for example, where he essentially got a cursed sword, and that made him into a total quote unquote loser, right? Hilarious. But then, like, he switches back from that to going serious, and then just, like, back to hilarious. And he tries to be serious at all times, but he's still hilarious while being serious. In a way, similar to Mado, like, who doesn't try to be funny, but to him, funny things happen. Whereas with Hijikata, he does funny things without wanting to be funny, in a way. So, it's a very, very, very fun, enjoyable character. And again, I think it might be recency bias, but I feel like he would have been, you know, in my top 5 regardless. I feel like just because of how he's interacted with certain characters, how he's interacted with, first of all, Sogo, Gintama, then you've obviously got Hondo. Like, there's a lot of characters that he interacts with, where the interaction is just absolutely hilarious, where him just being in the scene is absolutely hilarious. I mean, the last episode that I did was obviously the quote, I call it the Mayo Princess, you know, that's what I titled the episode. You can call it what you want, but like, where he just dresses up as a mayo bottle, right? First of all, ketchup over mayo, but Hijikata is awesome. That's all I have to say. He is awesome, alright? That's all there is. That's all there is about it. He is just awesome. Very fun to watch. Like I said, he tries to be serious, but he's funny while trying to be serious, which is very, very difficult to pull off, you know, trying to actually be acknowledged, trying to actually be respected / feared, but all while what you're doing is kind of comedic, you know. Again, he's like one of these characters that demands respect. You watch him in a scene and you're like, okay, you know, he is taking charge of the scene, almost like a, you know, Shakespearean actor in a way, like in real life, just a Shakespearean actor, where, you know, they enter the scene and, you know, okay, they demand respect. They are the boss. It's their scene right now. But then he's being funny on it. It's like, I demand respect, but I'm being funny on it. Again, it's very, very difficult to pull off, and it's very, very difficult to describe, you know, what he is, what he does, and why he is so good. But for me, he's my third favorite character at this point in the show. Second favorite character, and I feel like this is the point most of you guys know where it's gonna go. For those of you guys who have been watching my videos, you guys know I think my top two. But I'll say this, right? My last top 10 that I did, and I guess I'm spoiling it right now by saying who my first and second favorite characters were. But my last top 10 that I did, Kagura was first, Gintoki was second. It's the same right now. Kagura is first, Gintoki is second. But in my last one, if I would have given a percentage for those top two spots, I would have said Kagura is at like a 70% and Gintoki at a 30%. So like Kagura, you know, she had the majority of my vote in a way, right? Right now, I would say it is more like 55 to 45 in favor for Kagura. So Kagura just edges Gintoki. Just. But she does edge him. But she does edge him. Let me just say why Gintoki now has risen so high. Honestly, and I feel like it has almost to do like him being the main character, because I enjoy the show so much. I enjoy the show so much. And because he's always, most of the time, not always, but like most of the time he's in the show because, well, quite frankly, he is the main character. Just from that perspective, you know, he is a character that I see a lot. He's a character that I get to interact with a lot. But for me, like, the difference is, and the reason why he's risen so high, is that because at the beginning I saw him more as pretty much just a comedic character. You know, comedic, funny, you know, just entertaining character. But right now, you know, especially like with like these last few episodes as well, obviously there's been more. But like, you know, pointing up to the last episode, I think the Tama episode, I think that was like 3 episodes ago, the Tama episodes, like, he can be understanding, he can be, you know, respectful, he understands what somebody's going through, you know. There's a lot of things with him, like, even in the Shinzengumi and Crisis arc, you know, he knew straight away, you know, what needs to be done. He knows when to, you know, when to continue going forward. He's basically like the whole package. Primarily, he's funny, but like now I'm seeing more like emotions of him, if that makes sense. I see more of his character right now, and that's all without really having seen a backstory, which I'm hoping we're gonna get sooner or later ultimately. But like, he is a character that went from just being funny to now being funny, serious, you know, I don't know, like all the range, the whole spectrum of emotions pretty much, and that's why he's risen up so much. I feel like if I did this video in like, give or take, let's say 20 episodes, right? Let's say the one I'm gonna do at like episode 150, after episode 150, I feel like he's gonna be number one. I'll be totally honest here. I feel like Gintoki will be number one at that point, but right now he still is number two. Again, it's like 45 to 55 between him and Kagura. Now, I did mention that there's 6 people in this list, despite this being a 5-person. Besides this being a top 5. And the reason for that is quite simple. There is one other character that I want to mention right now between that number 1 and number 2 spot. You know, like as I said, Kagura is number 1, Gintoki is number 2, but there is actually one character in between them, and that is Gura. Gura-san, I guess I should call her, which is essentially Kagura dressed up, or not just dressed up, but behaving like Gintoki. And it was very difficult for me to think, to really establish where she would fit in, because I was like, is she either between 1 or 2, or 2 and 3? But I ultimately decided on between 1 and 2. So she's literally right in between Kagura and Gintoki, which is kind of symbolic, because obviously she's supposed to be both. She's supposed to be, you know, Kagura and Gintoki, and now I put her right between both of them. So I guess Fusion, ha. But yeah, even like I said, it was very, very close. I said, if I were to judge her, like, I'd give it like 51% over Gintoki, who would get like 49% ultimately. But again, it's not really a separate character. It's just Kagura behaving like a Gintoki. But I thought, just even though it was just one episode, I thought it was very, very hilarious. I thought it was very, very fun, and combining my two favorite characters, you know, was always going to be great. It was always going to be very, very fun for me to watch, for me to just enjoy, to let it all soak in. So I'm just very, very happy, and ultimately Gora-san is between number 1 and number 2. But number 1 is Kagura. Of course, I mentioned it already, but let me just explain why. To be fair, I don't even know why. Back then, it used to be much easier. Like I said, back then, it was very, very clear for me, because back then, she almost seemed like, we all know she's very, very strong. How strong, that's always debatable, you know, you can't always judge how strong a character is in Gintama. You know, how they rank compared to someone else. You would always assume that Gintoki is like the strongest, because he ultimately wins against everyone, but that's not really the point. The point I'm trying to make is that she is strong, but she is like a baby. And I've always really enjoyed characters like that, like characters that just get to enjoy the world, you know, just try and learn, try and understand as much as possible, which is why I've actually really liked Tama, you know, that much, because she's a robot, she's trying to enjoy it, trying to, you know, understand the world. I feel like if she was more in the story, I probably would have liked her a lot more, because like I said, I always enjoyed seeing characters like that. And you know, Kagura always really seems that way. Not as much now as she did right at the beginning, because right at the beginning, you know, she seemed very, very innocent. Now that's kind of a little bit gone, to be fair. But you know, she still has her charm. She still has her charm. She's still very, very funny. You know, still most of the time, you know, very, very innocent. And I feel like just that combination is just very, very awesome. Especially when they're very, very strong. Having almost that. What's the best way to describe it? Having almost that, if any of you guys have seen Of Mice and Men, almost like that Lenny vibe. Or was it George? I don't know. The strong one. You know, almost having that vibe, but like just being hilarious. Because I didn't actually like that character in Of Mice and Men, but in Gintama it works because the whole show is essentially a comedy, or it has a very comedic nature. So I'm just really, really enjoying her. And again, I don't think it's really her that has dropped off for me. I think it's more that Gintoki has risen so much. But she will get the dethroned. I'm pretty much certain of that. I am pretty certain of that, unless something major happens. But again, she is still number 1, and she is still probably my favorite character, right? She is my favorite character right now in the show. But I feel like I liked her more right at the beginning. Just because I didn't like the other characters that much. But now, you know, all the other characters have risen more and more, which means that she has dropped off a little bit more as well. So that's just the way I see it right now. And again, I feel like Gintoki is gonna overtake her. Now, notable mentions here, you know, characters that I was debating for with like the number 5 spot. Shinpachi, we've not really seen him much lately at all. Then you've got Sadaharu, which I like Sadaharu. I know people don't really consider him a main character. I like Sadaharu, alright? But we've not seen much of him at all. Anything, really. Elizabeth. Funny enough, I really, really was considering Elizabeth as my number 5. But I decided that because Elizabeth is almost always in the presence of Katsura, that Mado, you know, just because he stands out alone, you know, he doesn't even have to interact with anyone. Just him being in the scene makes the scene funny. Whereas Elizabeth only really functions with Katsura, so that's why I put Mado over Elizabeth. But Elizabeth was very. If I did a top 6, I think Elizabeth would have come at number 6. Anyway, well, that's my top 5. Tell me what your top 5 is, everyone. You're right. Let's do it this way, right? Just post your top 5. Have it be spoilery. You know, spoil it as much as you want, or don't spoil it at all. If you have a top 5 with characters that I've seen right now, Leave that. If you have a character, if you have a top 5 of characters I've not seen, leave that. And I'll just have some people, I'll just tell some people like to just show me the comments that I can actually read, so you guys can be as spoilery as you want in the comment section for this video. And ultimately, I'll read all the comments that I can, and those that obviously I can't, I won't. So we'll leave it at that. But I will see you guys, like I said, later on today. Right time is it? It's 10:33 right now, so by the time this video is up, it will probably be 11. So give or take 8 hours, maybe 9 after this video is up. We're gonna do the Gintama stream for the next arc. But I will see you guys then. Peace out, everyone. Also, ketchup beats mayo. That's not a discussion. That's a fact. That is a fact. All right. I will see you guys though later in the day. And until then, peace out, everyone, and have a nice day.